안녕하세요, 여러분. 제 이름은 Diva예요. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diva. Today we're going to be discussing simple phrases that you should pick up on in everyday conversation. Now, this is a little limited because I don't want to dive into too much. I feel like we've been doing a lot recently. So this lesson will kind of center around saying thank you, saying nice to meet you, I'm sorry, and a bit of some nuances that can get thrown in and a mix between what's different in Korean versus what's different in America with saying it. There's also 2 listening practices at the end, as well as something that I want to get you guys used to, and that is repeating after me with the phrase 따라하세요, which means to follow me or to repeat after me. So without further ado, let's get started. Now that we're getting into more discussions and talking, I want you to be able to recognize some key phrases, understand them, and know when and how to use them. This could range from thank you to nice to meet you and I'm sorry. Different phrases we use almost every time. We're going to have some conversation and listening practices, some of which I'd like you to try to say the phrases out loud to practice speaking more. You are going to see on the screen and hear me say 따라하세요. 따라하세요. 따라하세요, which means follow me or repeat after me. Let's start with some greetings like nice to meet you. This was introduced in the last video, but I really didn't discuss it. There is some grammar in the sentence that I will not discuss, and that is because it uses 서, which you are going to hear, but again, we won't discuss it. The phrase you heard was 만나서 반가워요. 만나서 반가워요. 만나서 반가워요. This is made up of 2 words and the connector 서, which we will be ignoring. 만나다 means to meet, and 반갑다 means to be glad or grateful. With this connector, they combine to make most naturally nice to meet you. Of course, you can be polite or formal with this phrase. To make it formal, it becomes 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 여러분, 따라하세요. Please read the highlighted phrase along with me. 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. Next is thank you. Please is not on this list as it contains grammar we're not covering yet. There are a few ways you can say thank you. We'll go from least formal to most formal, starting with 고맙다. 고맙다. Of course, any of these words can be made formal by using the formal conjugation, but some just feel a bit more formal than others. Present tense conjugations are 고마워, 고마워요, 고맙습니다. Another way to say thank you, one that you've probably heard a lot, is 감사하다. Conjugate it as 감사해, 감사해요, 감사합니다. The formal version of this word is used a lot more than its lesser casual parts, whereas 고마워 and 고마워요 are used a bit more than 고맙습니다. Even though 감사합니다 is formally conjugated, it's used in everyday situations, even with friends or people who fall outside of the formal category. Let's move on to I'm sorry. Before we begin, I would like to point out more of a cultural difference. In America, obviously, as an American, I can't speak for anyone else, a lot of people tend to say sorry for very small inconveniences. Sometimes things that don't necessarily require an apology, but you just want to be polite and considerate towards the other person, especially when it revolves around someone else's problems, like loss or grief. In Korea, you don't want to apologize unnecessarily, especially regarding loss or grief. When you apologize, sometimes it can come across like it's your fault. Native speakers might understand that you're not trying to assume responsibility, rather being sympathetic. However, just focus on saying sorry when it's prompted or when you know you should. To say I'm sorry, can be 미안하다 or 죄송하다. 미안하다 has a bit more of a casual feel, while still sorry it should be used with people in the casual or polite category. 죄송하다 should be used with people in the formal category. You may have heard them as 미안해요 or 죄송합니다 when speaking to the right person. 따라하세요. Repeat the words after me. 미안해요. 죄송합니다. One more time, a little bit slower. 미안해요. 죄송합니다. Next, we are going to listen to a conversation. There are some vocabulary and slight grammar rules you haven't learned yet. Don't worry about trying to figure out what is being said, but if you'd like to challenge yourself, you're more than welcome to. The translation will be revealed as well as some explanation afterwards. 여보세요? 언니, 브랭키야. 안녕. 브랭키? 안녕. 잘 지내? 네, 나는 파리에서 여행을 해. 그래? 재밌어? 네, 너무 재밌어. 널 위해 선물 샀지? 그럼. 여보세요? 언니, 브랭키야. 안녕. 브랭키? 안녕. 잘 지내? 네, 나는 파리에서 여행을 해. 그래? 재밌어? 네, 너무 재밌어. 널 위해 선물 샀지? 그럼. 여보세요 is used to say hello when answering the phone. You can see in the second line that instead of my name, Frankie addressed me as 언니, which is older sister to a female. You don't always have to say the person's name. It's common to ask, can I call you 언니? To someone older than you once you've gotten close. The rest of this conversation does have some grammar that we won't discuss, but I wanted you to see a normal conversation. Again, these conversations are catered to beginners. There's always a better way to say something. The next conversation will be with a stranger. Take note of how we speak to each other since it's our first time meeting. 어떡해. 저기요? 네? 안녕하세요. 혹시 은행이 어디에 있어요? 아니요. 저도 잘 몰라요. 그래요? 네, 미안해요. 아니에요. 감사합니다. 어떡해. 저기요? 네? 안녕하세요. 혹시 은행이 어디에 있어요? 아니요. 저도 잘 몰라요. 그래요? 네, 미안해요. 아니에요. 감사합니다. We are using 어떻게, which if you remember, this spelling does not mean how, but it means what should I do or oh no. 저기요 is a common way to say excuse me. In our previous lesson, we learned that 잘 meant well. When paired with 모르다, which means to not know, it translates to I'm not sure or I don't really know. Although the better way to say this would be 잘 모르겠어요 or 잘 모르겠습니다. But that's for another time. 미안하다 was used here because it's not such a serious thing to apologize for. Just sorry I couldn't be of more help. Using 죄송하다 would make it seem a bit more serious. 아니에요 here can just mean it's nothing, no big deal. 괜찮아요 would also be acceptable. We're grateful to this stranger for trying to help, so we use 감사합니다. Could I have used a conjugation of 고맙다? Yes, but it would seem more casual. We don't want to appear rude. And that's it for this lesson. I hope you're taking the time to study And if you have any questions, please let me know down below.